He was lost and was actually found by Advaitacharya. Advaitacharya found him when he went to visit Vrindavan, which the child. And he took him into the Tura, and he gave him to a family of Brahmanas, Chobe. And these Brahmanas were pure devotees, but they didn't worship Madan Gopal like a deity. They had him as a family member. So you've seen in India when they lay down on the bed side by side like the whole family is there. So that's what they do. When they all lay down, they just lay Madan Gopal down with them. And when it was time to eat, then they had one son. So then, they sat down at the table, the man, the son, and Madan Gopal, they sat down at the table, and then they all ate like that. So they didn't treat them as a baby. And once Sivarama Swami, when he was doing Bhiksha, when he was begging, he knocked on the door, and he came in, and they invited him in, and he saw the deity. And he became very attracted to Madan Gopal. And in his mind, he wanted to ask him for him. And but he did. But he saw that these people they're not worshiping him in the process of Vaidhi Bhakti like we worship. This is not even spontaneous devotion. It's like, it's not worship. It's just dealing with him as a family member. And anyway, in a dream, Madan Gopal came to Sanatana Goswami, and he told him, he says, I want you to take care of me now. So Sanatana Goswami told him in the dream, I'm not going to go tell them to give me, they're not going to give me to you, so just don't worry, I'll talk to them. So he also appeared to them in the dream, and he said, I've been with you here enough, and I want Sanatana Goswami to worship me. So when Sanatana came back, they gave it to him. And Sivarama Swami he kept them in a tree. Often the acharyas, they kept their deities in a tree. I don't know what that practically meant, whether they hung them up with a rope, but they kept them in trees, because keeping them down, I guess, with animals and so many other things, it was sort of safer to keep deities in a tree. Just like Radharama was in a tree for quite some time. Many of these deities didn't have temples for quite a long time. Radharama, when they first worshipped him, there was actually a lake where his temple was located, and he was in a boat. He was kept in a boat in the middle of the lake at night, and he was guarded. The pujaris had bows and arrows, with poison-tipped arrows. If anyone came to steal him, and it was quite some time before they actually built the temple. They just lived out during the day, bring them to the shore, where they had under a tree, they had nice facilities, sort of natural facilities, and at night they'd take the boat out and sleep in the boat in the middle of the river, lake. And that's how. And anyway, I'll just finish off. Madan Gopal, he was with Sanatana Goswami. He was afterwards Sanatana Goswami had this temple built by this one merchant who got stuck at the bottom of at the Jamuna. And he became a devotee. He actually was initiated by Sanatana Goswami, and then he constructed that temple. And it was the first temple that was existing. Others, the other temples are all dilapidated. For instance, the Shakshi Gopal's temple had already fallen down, which was in existence prior to that. And Sanatana Goswami would often, in going out, he would go out and he would meet people and talk, and he would often go along the Jamuna where the children would be playing. And he would see that actually Madan Gopal was out there playing with the kids. He would take, not as a deity, but as a boy. And then Sanatana Swami would have to chase him back up again to the temple, because left the temple to come play with the children, play ball, things like that. That's what Krishna did with the cowherd boys in Vrindavan. So he also did that with the different children of Vrindavan at that time. But anyway, here the concluding point was that Sanatana Goswami had placed such great emphasis on parikrama, and it's something that we need to practice in two ways. One is by physically doing it, and the other one is by mentally doing it. So in Padishamrita, when Rupa Goswami says that one should reside in Vrindavan, Tishta Gajatam Anugami Jananugami, he says that one should reside in Vrindavan. And the traditional way in which, from Jiva Goswami to Srila Prabhupada, that's translated, is that one should physically reside in Vrindavan, and if that's not possible, one should reside in Vrindavan within one's mind. So two types of parikrama are there. One is when you physically go, and when you don't physically go, then you go within your mind. And you go within your mind by hearing about Krishna's places of pastimes. You read Krishna book or 10th canto, Bhagavatam, and hear those places, then we should know Vrindavan well enough to identify the particular places and what happened where. Just like whenever you do anything, you always identify a place with what you do. It's very rare that we have such a thing that, we have an activity that's unrelated to a place. Activities are related to places. You do something in a place. So, but very often, because we don't tie the things together, or devotees don't have so much experience with the actual physical parikrama, when they hear of these pastimes, then they sort of remain as pastimes, which is very good, but they're not anchored down to any place. So parikrama is meant to actually anchor the pastime that it happened here at this particular place. And by reading about those, then ultimately that is what our mind is meant to be filled with, Krishna's pastimes. That's what Krishna consciousness is. It means to be Krishna conscious. You're conscious of Krishna. You're not conscious of Krishna just standing there in one place. Krishna is doing things all the time. So what's he doing? I mean, that's what we're supposed to be thinking about, what Krishna does. And he does many things. And that's what Srila Prabhupada has written these books about, and because he asked his followers to write other books, that's why this book is also about what Krishna does. Hare Krishna.